Hello, leaders. Hey, this is Paul Grau, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that equips leaders and their teams to achieve their greatest potential. This show is sponsored by the CLC team, and they provide leadership training and development, team building, leadership mastermind groups, and an online membership community for leaders who want to continually develop and hone their skills with other leaders. Find out more about them at clcteam.com. Hey, hope you're doing great today. And based on the temperatures across the U.S., man, I hope you're staying warm. I mean, we're having snowmageddon here in Arkansas as we have more than a foot of snow on the ground. Very unlike Arkansas this time of year. So I hope y'all are staying warm and safe. And man, if you don't need to go out in this weather, stay at home. So today, let's talk about transformation. Now, when people think about transformation, they often get a little nervous because they automatically tie transformation to some type of change, and change scares some people. However, I don't want to talk about your team or organizational transformation here. I want to talk about leadership transformation, specifically your leadership transformation and how it ties to your team and organizational transformation. You see, in order to have any type of transformation in your team or in your organization, let alone throughout your entire organization, you really need to focus on your own transformation. Think about it this way. If somebody was to come to you and tell you that there was going to be a major change within the team, how would you immediately feel? I mean, what would be your first gut reaction to them telling you about this major transformation? Would you automatically embrace the transformation that's about to be unleashed? Would you start inquiring immediately about the transformation? Or will you take a look at the leader who told you about the major transformation and specifically look at their actions? Or would you look at the leader who has just told you about this transformation and specifically look at their actions and whether or not they are or have already transformed? The thing is, many times our subconscious minds automatically think, feel, and behave certain ways based on how we see others behave and by their actions. For instance, if somebody was to approach you and says that they would love for you to be their running partner, you'll probably first consider what kind of shape they are in, right? I mean, if you've been running for years, the first thing that may be going through your mind and your thoughts is you may be wondering just how fit the person asking is. Naturally, if they are somewhat equal to your level of fitness, you'll probably accept their request. However, if the person asking to be your running partner is totally out of shape, you may instantly think that, man, they're just asking for me to be their personal trainer, in which you may not want to have anything to do with. Now, at the same time, if you know the person and you know that they've been running for about 6 months, and they may still be out of shape a little bit, but they've been running for 6 months and they have really been improving, and they are willing to try to improve to your level of fitness. That's their goal. That's where they want to get. If that's the case, you may be a lot more willing to accept their request. Oddly enough, the same thing happens when any type of transformation takes place within your team or organization. When a leader starts talking about transformation that's about to take place, the first thing that we subconsciously think about and look at is whether or not the leader can go through the same transformation, or better yet, have already gone through the transformation. Now, I said this was more about your leadership transformation, so just think about this for a second. If you have high expectations for your team members and want to introduce some form of transformation to them to increase their productivity, one of the first things that they're going to think and probably ask themselves is whether or not you are doing your part to increase your level of productivity. If they see that you have been busting your butt to continually increase your effectiveness and improve your productivity, well, they will be much more willing to accept the transformational plan. All this to say that if you expect transformation to ever occur effectively within your team or organization, it must start with you, the leader. People do what they see their leaders doing, not necessarily what they hear or what they're told to do. This is especially true when it comes to the leader's behaviors and actions, as the leader's actions should always be a model for the team members to follow. Today's challenge is for you to think about any transformation that's happening within your team or organization, and then ask yourself if you are displaying acceptance or if you've completed the transformation, or as a minimum, are making every effort possible to follow through with the transformation. Ask yourself if they can clearly see that you are supporting the transformation by your words and actions. If you answer yes to those questions, chances are pretty good that your team members will also accept and follow through with the transformation. On the other hand, if your team members see that you are not leading by example and not accepting the transformation, and yet you're providing them with instructions and directions on what you want them to do, they are bound to be more resistant to the transformation. And therefore, you must make some major transformations yourself to get on board and to lead by the right example. So think about the transformation that's happening, and especially the transformation that you don't feel like you are accepting or following through with. And then ask yourself what you need to do specifically so that your team members can use you as a guiding light or a compass to get exactly where they need to be on the other side of the transformation. Hey, hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks for listening. Please join us tomorrow for the weekend edition, as I'm going to share 3 tips that my 8-year-old daughter shared with me about how you can get work done at home and be a great parent. And believe me, this was an eye-opener for me, and I think you'll enjoy it. Until then, run to your challenges.